This is WOMM LP operating out of Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. Good evening, it's The Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Tom Proctor, and with me tonight is Remi Russin. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, nice to have you back in the studio.
Yes, likewise.
We were just saying before we started, you were here a few years back, same band.
Yeah, a few years ago, 2021, I think.
2021. Oh yeah, probably when you had your last album out,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about in a little bit. But first, we would love to hear a song.
Awesome.
Talking to, you pretend to care, 'cause I can't put it down. I'm not getting any younger now. I had to learn to follow through. Now I've come around, the whole world's putting out. I read it in a magazine. We can do this for real. We can let it die before it starts getting still. Close your eyes and end the day. Find a way to justify that it wasn't always tuning out of the machinery, 'cause I feel like it would help by
All right, Remi Russin with a song that I don't think I caught before we started that one.
Oh, that was a second pass.
A second pass there by Remi Russin. Cracking track. You guys have such a unique sound, especially for this very specific part of the world where we've got a lot of jam bands kicking around.
Yeah, totally.
And in this year of 2024, it definitely harkens back to, God, I was trying to pick out different eras while I was listening to you guys before we came in. And I've got listening to some like mid 2000s, like Northern England indie. There is some kind of Joy Division in there. There's kind of new wave synth. Where do you guys get your influence from? How did you kind of build this sound?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, like, in writing it, was drawing on, a lot of, like, 80s, like, British jangle pop kind of indie stuff. The Field Mice, Felt kind of stuff. There's definitely, like, some mid-2000s, just, like, pop indie, like, pop alternative kind of influence in there, as well. But, yeah, like this batch in particular was definitely a love letter to, like, the Cure, again, Felt, stuff like that.
Is this, because I've listened to your first album as well, how much of a departure is this new album from that first album?
Yeah, it's I think in a lot of ways, like, really spiritually kind of related, in that, like, that first, like, the Math for Poets stuff was just kind of a quarantine, like shows dried up, so I'm gonna like try and like learn the basics of home recording. And so, like, the songwriting for the Math for Poets stuff was almost kind of incidental, like it was just a technical study. So I guess the other side of that coin is that with the second pass material was kind of a study in the same way of just, like, how to put coherent songs together, right? So I guess in that sense, like, I definitely consider it to be just sort of an iteration of sort of the same project.
Is this kind of your first album then, or if you put the two together, does that you consider that your first album?
Yeah, the first one is definitely more of like, when I was making that, it was not even I didn't know if I was going to release it. Like, it wasn't really a serious thing. Like, when I put this group together, I kind of sold it as, like, I made these songs. I figured we'd do, like, maybe a release show, and then that'll be it. And it's 3 years later. But a second pass was definitely more intentional. Like, I am writing, this is a complete thought kind of thing,
Do you want to tell us a little bit of history about the band? Actually, as you said, you kind of sold these guys on a promise that it would be a one-off gig, and many, many weekends and evenings later, they're still going.
Yeah, I mean, like, Evan and I have been playing music together forever. We play in community garden together. We've met each other in music, like, doing music in, like, 4th grade. So Evan was kind of obligated from the start. And Connor, I had just kind of started to get to know at around that time. Picked him up. These two, Max and Amel, I poached from Lake Waves, just, like, outright. I knew that I needed them.
How did they feel about it? Lake Waves and then.
How did y'all feel about it?
Oh, it was. I mean, there was no bad blood between the bands. That's for sure.
We've even, like, played, like, bills together too.
Yeah, that's true.
Great to, like, book shows together.
So it's both. Is that other band still going then? You guys
No,
just kind
not
of.
anymore. We had a couple members depart from Burlington. So, sorry.
Yeah.
We had a couple members depart from Burlington. So
I thought you were going to say you had a couple of members depart from the band in referring to you two, but no.
No, thankfully no. Yeah, it's just moved on.
Yeah. And so this is now your main project for both of you?
No, so yeah.
Sorry, we should really put more mics up here.
Talk about poaching. So I started once Lake Waves kind of knew the eventual sort of end to Lake Waves was going to happen at the summer of last year. asked Max and Connor, who I was already playing music with, either once or multiple times a week to start a new band. So now I've formed a new kind of solo project outside of that called Young Lady. So it's nice to be able to continue to play music with my friends, and it didn't really feel like a very tragic sort of like cut and break and all of it. It just felt like a natural new kind of wave, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
It evolved nicely, although, as you said, no bad blood. And so, so in those 3 years, you've kind of gone from being a COVID band to playing everywhere. I mean, we see your name up on the posters around town quite a lot.
Whenever they let us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has that been kind of an intention post-COVID, I guess, of the band? Kind of less, let's get in the studio, more, let's get in front of an audience?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like I have a really hard time saying no, just because there's so much going on in Burlington and so many people that I want to collaborate with and play shows with, and just it seems like this is there's a little bit of like there's something here, like people are it's getting us into some doors that like I as sort of just an amateur musician have never gotten through before. So like I'm just trying to create like as many just trying to cram as many memories into this project while there's momentum as possible.
Could you expand on that a little bit? What doors have been opening for you as a musician?
Just like folks in town that I had always kind of, and maybe part of it is just like getting older too, and like kind of graduating to the next sort of age band of folks. But like just people in town that I had always like looked up to are and that have I had never spoken to suddenly know our names and like are asking us to play bills, and we played Higher Ground a while back, just like things like that, like little sort of local band milestones.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that actually, because I've considered you for the past few since especially the first album as kind of a musician's musician. You are quite known in the musical spheres around Burlington as a very talented singer-songwriter and guitarist.
Well, thanks.
So it's interesting to you saying that, you had all these people who obviously you looked up to and are now kind of asking you to play bills, whereas, I mean, I'm not a musician, but I would now consider you part of that kind of echelon.
Well, that's very flattering.
Yeah, well, I can definitely imagine you probably got a few big gigs at Higher Ground and elsewhere in the future. Well, we would love to hear another song. So what have you got for us?
This one's called Xanthan Gum. Check.
Russin there with Xanthan Gum.
It's a quick one.
So the lyricism in your song are kind of buried under the surface of all these kind of layers and layers and layers. You got the synths and the percussion, you get the guitar, obviously bass. How do you craft a song with this amount of layers? And when is like when you're like, okay, that's the right amount of layers. This is how we're gonna go. How do you stack this, I guess?
It's a good question. I don't know. It's sort of just like if there's empty space that is bothering me, I fill it with something. And it's like the instrumentation sort of with the five of us is sort of like kind of cemented itself. Like, so I'm kind of I don't know. I'm now sort of at this phase in this project's life, like kind of keeping that in mind. Like, okay, what is Amel gonna do on this song? What's Connor gonna do here? And sort of the live sort of iteration of whatever this is kind of in my mind at the same time now, sort of.
Was it a conscious decision to kind of bury your voice, if you will, because it's not front and center. It is kind of another instrument almost that's kind of in the background in the same way the guitar is or the drums is.
Yeah, well, like originally when I started writing, I sort of had I was envisioning sort of the I don't know, kind of more of like a shoegaze thing, and like the way that vocals sort of sit in like a My Bloody Valentine song or like a Sire Rose song, right? Where they are almost not there at all. And sort of as this band started playing out and like started playing at smaller spots in particular, like I realized I couldn't whisper into the microphone and have it be picked up. Like, we're just very loud.
Yeah.
So like now it's sort of this tug of war between like sort of adopting a more like pop affectation to be heard, but also still trying to preserve that like just like really heavy wall of sound, dreamy kind of aesthetic. And
I mean, you do write poetry. It's what you write and the lyrics you write are quite thought evoking. Is it for the kind of the listener to kind of dig into that to try and find it? Or I mean, I know that you can find the lyrics somewhere, but unless you come to a lot of gigs, you probably wouldn't be able to, for example, sing along.
Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate you saying that. Like, I always I struggle a lot with that's probably the part of I don't know. I of all of it, I'm probably most insecure about that sort of aspect of it, right? So maybe that kind of attributes to it being a little further down in the mix, but like, I don't know. My lyrics have always just kind of been for me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of like writing a song, then is this kind of I don't want to say afterthought, I think that's the right term, but do the lyrics come at the end once you've kind of got the rest of the sound together, or vice versa?
Some of the time I'll have a demo done for like months and I'm still writing lyrics all the time. Other times, like, it just all comes out at the same time. And those tend to be the stronger songs. But it really is, I don't know, Connor and I talk about it all the time, of just like, it's in the room with you or it's not, you know? Like,
are you the sort of person that this has to happen at band practice, or are you kind of a 3 a.m. picking up a notebook when you wake up in a cold sweat kind of guy?
Yeah.
In the shower with your iPhone recording notes?
All of the above, right? Like, it's sort of like, again, like it might take me 6 months to write a song, just like you know, out of, you know, on the drive to work, like I get half of a bar, you know. And just kind of piece it together and figure out what it means.
Yeah. I have noticed there is a kind of energized melancholy to your song. I also put down charged, wistful nihilism.
Yeah. yeah.
Does this reflect who you are in the day-to-day, or is this something that is your music an outlet for some of these feelings and thoughts that you kind of keep locked up a little bit?
Man, that's
a bit of a heavy question.
Yeah,
sorry.
this is kind of. I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist about that. No, I mean, I guess so. Like, I guess kind of all of the above, right? Like, I definitely process sort of music's sort of the arena where I process kind of like some of the darker things in my life in a way that feels a little less destructive than maybe ways I've done that in the past. Yeah, so I guess so. I guess it does sort of bring out. Yeah, music's just kind of a way to like get the poison out, you know, like just purge.
Is that because you kind of said you're going to start off in kind of a shoegazy kind of way, which is obviously a lot quieter and whispering into the microphones. You're obviously a lot louder than that. Is that kind of part of the getting it out? Is that, you know, being able to kind of scream because your instruments are up really high? Is that kind of part of that cathartic? I don't know. I
guess like it's been sort of forced upon me, like kind of like I said earlier, right? Like it was, you know, when you're playing at and like all the love in the world to Despacito, but like the speakers at Despacito are very small, and if I wanted to be heard there, I had to kind of project a little bit. And like I had never like this is the first time I've done vocals on like anything. So like it's been very therapeutic and cathartic just to kind of like, okay, well, I don't really have much of a choice here. I kind of have to practice and find a voice and like, you know, it feign some confidence here, you know.
As I mentioned before, it seems that if you go into town, your names are going to be up on a poster somewhere or a board somewhere. Is there any particular places that really stand out to you as places that are great places to play in Burlington or the kind of wider Vermont area?
Yeah. I mean, shout out to the Barrage, for sure, out in Holland. Amazing, just like such a high level of professionalism in the middle of nowhere, and just like the whole town of like 50 people just shows up to everything, and it's such a cool scene that Andy's built out there. So like shout out to them for sure. In Burlington, like I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm partial to the smaller, like the DIY spaces for sure. Like Radio Bean is amazing, and like it's always a treat to play there, and you know, an honor to play Radio Bean. But like folks who are just kind of throwing it together for the sake of putting on an artful show, I'm always going to be kind of partial to.
So basically, people's basements.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine you fill a basement pretty well, like musically and in terms of people.
We've aged out of the basements a little bit. I don't know where. Like, I DM for the address and no one writes back to me anymore. I would love to go and see a show at you know, the Tub, but like I don't know where that is. I don't know the address.
Yeah, we are just not cool enough anymore, I guess. So tell us a little bit about the production of this new album. So it came out at the end of last year, is that right?
Yeah, October.
Yeah. How is it about getting in the studio? Obviously, as you said, this is your first album that you've it's not just been a project of, can I record an album myself?
Yeah.
So how is that for you to kind of get into a studio space with your band members?
We did do it ourselves.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. We rented an Airbnb out in like Manchester, and just kind of did it in a weekend. Did 8 songs in like really 2 days. Yeah. It was awful.
Was there a studio in the Airbnb? Or?
No. We just kind of did it in this house.
Wow.
I don't think they know that we did that. But, yeah, just kind of like did it. You know, like Math for Poets, I had really been like honing that craft, and this was like, you know, this was my sort of if I only do this once in my life, like I want to see if I can make a record for real, you know.
I mean, I gotta say, surprising. Usually, you can tell when listening to an album or a LP if it has been kind of like home recorded, and I did not get that sense on this one.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. So 2 days. Manchester's a lovely place in the world, at the very least.
Yeah.
Was it a kind of a summer thing, or did you guys do it as fall was kind of kicking in?
Yeah, we did it in like late May, last weekend in May. Yeah.
Any stories from the actual recording space? Do you guys sleep at all, or?
I didn't. No. I mean, the last night we were there, I like vocals was sort of the last thing we had to do. I don't know if y'all slept that night. It was probably not, but like
it's funny to listen to you downstairs. Like,
yeah,
we were falling asleep, but Remi was cutting vocals.
we really like yeah, we ran out of time. I did vocals the night before we left until like 7 a.m.
Oh wow!
Just like while they were trying to sleep, like we ran out of time, and from what I hear, like they all had a great time. I worked just constantly.
Out of curiosity, how many times do you have to record vocals for one track?
I shoot for because I do a lot of like I do like doubles and triples and quads of like all the vocals. So like I probably get like 10 takes and then just like comp them together and pick probably like 4 of them.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. It seems like an eventful weekend at the very least.
Definitely, yeah. It was. There was a hot tub.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Especially in May. It's still pretty cold in May, so I mean, like hot tubs work. And then, so from May till October, was that just a case of kind of mixing and mastering?
Yeah, I took a couple months off, and just kind of like, I don't know. You hear stuff a certain amount of times and like you don't hear it anymore. Mm-hmm. So like I just had to take some time off, and then like probably like August to October was just like pretty much I went to work, I came home, I was in my basement just mixing, and yet again, like got it in just under the wire. That tends to be the theme.
So when you say just under the wire, is this kind of a deadline that you set yourself, or is this for some other kind of?
Yeah, so I went to Trevor Sonnen Photo Records to have it mastered.
Okay.
And so like I booked, like we came out of that recording session in May. I booked that date with him. Like that's my deadline now. And a couple of those tracks, like I won't say which ones, but like a couple of them I don't even really. Like I hear that I'm like, this isn't done. But like, I took it. I was late to our mastering session because I was still bouncing everything down. Like, but we got it done.
Would you describe yourself as a perfectionist, Remi?
Yeah,
There's a few looks from the bandmates there.
You said it kind of like alluded to it with just like so you referred to me as like a musician's musician, and I kind of think of myself in the same way, and just like I look up to everyone in the scene here, and just like the bar in Burlington is just so high, like I have no sort of ambitions of like doing this in any professional capacity or whatever, but like the folks, the community here, I really want to those are the folks I'm trying to impress, like so yeah, I guess so. I the bar feels so high, and I just want to a level of polish good enough to sort of be a footnote in that conversation is sort of what I strive for.
I see. Well, I for one think you were successful. It's a very good LP. I don't know if I'd call it. Is it an album? It's 7 tracks.
I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing albums come out now that are like 18 minutes long.
Right.
So sure.
Why not? Let's just call it an album.
Spotify does.
Here we go. Well, we'd love to hear another song from it. Sure. So what have you got?
Nothing.
myself down to be a friend. Now I'd rather just stay here. Put my guitar on a ring in my bed. These that's when I sound my best. I play it back, throw the pickups in my head, and they're tearing me to shreds. Casio Armani, yeah. So I can put this to bed. I need to learn to lay my things to rest while I'm still ahead. Lately I hate myself. I never caught on. My bridges are burning. Lately I hate myself. I never caught on. My bridges are burning. Lately I hate myself. I never caught on. My bridges are burning. Lately I hate myself. Yeah.
All right, Nothing Posed there by Remi Russin. So let's talk about the future. So this came out in October. So a little bit more about the past. Did you have like a release party? Was it kind of?
Yeah, we did at Despacito. We threw a little shindig. Young Lady actually opened for that, and we had Father Figure come back up from
We love
Philly.
Father Figure.
Oh my God, they're the best. I miss them every day. So yeah, it was just a super like low key, sort of private, like just communal little thing, little get together.
Yeah, the second release show for this band. I'm guessing it might be.
We didn't do one for because like Math for Poets came out mid-COVID.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
and like the first thing we ever did was this show. I think like around the same time that it came out, a couple months after even. We had a little listening party in my backyard.
At a safe distance from each other.
Exactly.
We used to have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first release show really for Remi Russin. And since then, playing it out and about, how's it been received? Have you had many comments? Have many people talked about it?
Yeah, I mean, people are very sweet. Yeah, it seems like folks are enjoying it. I was a little worried, like writing sort of again, like we talked about, sort of the time and place that I was sort of drawing from for this. Like I worried about it being a little bit dad rock, you know. But I mean, I don't know. We play at the Bean at 1 a.m. and the UVM kids are dancing. So like, I'll take it.
You're doing something right, clearly.
Yeah.
And so what's the future then? So you're the sort of person that as soon as you've got something down, you start writing again for the next album. Do you give yourself a break? Yeah. What do you envision for the future of Remi Russin?
I don't know. I mean, I'm always like just in my basement recording, like. And you know, I'm sure eventually I'll look at a few of those demos and be like, okay, we could probably polish these up. But right now, you know, we're just kind of playing these songs, and I just signed up for the RPM thing today, so we'll see if anything comes of that at the end of the month. I don't know, just kind of. I guess waiting for the next little thing to click.
I don't actually know what the RPM thing is. If you could enlighten me and also the audience.
Oh yeah, sure. It's like I don't actually know who puts it on, but it's sort of the like month of February try and make a record thing.
Okay.
So
is that a local thing or is that?
No, it's like a. I don't even know if it's like an officially like sanctioned thing or if it's just kind of an idea that floats around, but I don't know. I read about it on the internet.
All right. So what you're meant to make a track in the month of February?
I think originally like the idea was like make an album, like an LP, like top to, you know, February 1st to March 1st, and then just put out what you have. But like I work, So like
Yeah.
it'll probably be a single or something.
All right.
But
Maybe maybe 3 songs, like a demo, like an old school
Maybe.
kind of.
yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna
B-side.
just just mess around, and March 1st I'll post whatever I got.
All right, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Do you see yourselves kind of pumping out another album in a couple of years? Is that kind of the regularity you can see yourself doing going forward? Or are you, if you've got something, a whole bag of songs by June, you might throw something out this year?
When we've got it, we'll put something together. We're all like super busy with, we're all pushing, well, except for Connor, we're all pushing 30. So like, we've got jobs and other creative sort of endeavors, and it takes us a while to all get on the same page with stuff. So when it's ready, we'll put it out.
Also, you get tired around 30,
Yeah,
I always want to go to
especially-
sleep at 10 o'clock.
I know it's true. I can't. So many shows I want to see, but they're like, the shows start at 9.
You're not
It's
kidding
just
me.
impossible.
There was a show last weekend at Radio Bean that started at 11. 11. I'm in bed by 11. I can't do 11 anymore. We need to start at 8.
We played yeah,
7:30 would be fantastic.
The Pride Center in Veronica from Rangus, they do the queer takeover at the Radio Bean, right? And we've done that a couple times, and she always gives us the 12:30 1 a.m. slot, and every time that comes through, like there is I send over the advance for that show, and there's just a malaise in the group chat, but
Only because of the time.
exactly.
Right, yes.
But, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give
more
it.
shows starting at 7:30, please.
Please,
That
yeah.
would be great.
Matinees.
My fiance and I would be very grateful for that. Annie and I need to go to sleep.
Yes.
Anyway, we got about time for one more song, but before I let you go, please shamelessly self-promote. So where can we find you online, and where are you next playing your next gigs?
Sure. Yeah, we're on Spotify, Bandcamp, all the regular streamers at Remi Russin. I kind of just do Instagram at Remi Russin Vivo. So that's really it.
All right.
Yeah.
And any
Oh.
gigs?
Yeah, we're going up to J Peak in a couple weeks to play to the skiers and the grandmas, and then we'll be back at the Radio Bean on the 23rd of March.
Nice.
Yeah.
Be sure to go to the water park and JP.
Yes, that's on the agenda for sure.
Good. All right. Well, what song you got to play us out with?
This is Having Dogs.
salt to just get me home. I can feel my age, I'm a pillar salt. Of salt to just get me home. I lost another day, I'm a pillar salt. Of salt to just get me home. I can feel my age, I'm a pillar salt. Of salt to just get me home.
All right, Remi Russin there playing us out with Having Dogs. Guys, thank you so much for having coming into the studio.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, well, that is all we got time for this evening. Check back with us in 2 weeks when we've got a special Valentine's Day special with Hannah, who will hopefully bring her band of crooners and play some lovey-dovey songs for us. But for now, this is WOMM LP operating out of Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. It's being the Rocket Shop. I've been your host, Tom Proxer. I keep messing up, so good night.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you so much.